Dean Winchester, sort of a cat.
Hello, and welcome to Saving People, Queering Things, the supernatural podcast where it's probably Nokia's fault Sam got the wrong voicemail. Today, we are pulling up to the season 4 finale, Lucifer Rising. I'm your host, August, and joining me today...
I'm Noah.
And I'm Elayna.
And actually, before we get too far, I think it's time to jump in. We've got a little giveaway. I'm sure you heard about it last week. A fantastic giveaway we're working on for the end of season 4. And since this giveaway is opened up to international listeners, I figure what better opportunity to give a special shout out. Our one listener in Riga, Latvia. Hey, shout out to you. You're doing the most, and you're our one listener in Latvia. So shout out to you. If you reach out to us on Twitter or Discord, and maybe we'll get you some stickers. But everybody else, tune in for the end of our episode for the giveaway information, and we'll hit y'all with that there. Riga, Latvia, if that's you, let us know.
And if you're not listening to us on Pluto, get your shit together.
Like, what the hell? All of our listenership's on Earth. What? How lame is that? Branch out. Let's do better as a society.
I want some, would you call it Neptunian?
Yeah.
What would you call someone from Neptune? Like Neptunian?
Can we call them Neptunians? Because that just sounds fun.
I want some Neptunian listeners.
Neptunian.
Now that you've met all of us, it's time to catch you up. If you haven't watched Supernatural recently, here is what you've missed on the road so far. First up, Noah is going to recap season 4, all of it other than this episode.
Biggie.
The whole shebang.
In just 30 seconds. I don't know if we've specified recently, but we do these recaps in 30 seconds. So Noah, let me know when you are ready.
You know what? No better time like the present. Let's do it.
3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, so Dean comes back from hell, and he's set on a path where he has to save Sam, and that's the only thing he's focused about all season is saving Sam, meeting Cass, his beloved, and he wants to fuck. But don't worry about that. Sam is set on a path where he's getting darker and darker with Ruby, somebody else he wants to fuck, but don't worry about that. He's getting darker, making more and more decisions that make him and Dean collide more and more, and Dean is torn between saving his brother, doing what Cass tells him to, and Bobby, who's just trying to keep them all loving each other, and I just want more Bobby. I lost focus there at the end, but...
No, hey. I think that the end is where you really hit your stride.
Yeah, I mean, you called out the parallels between Sam, Ruby, Dean, Cass. You know, you got Bobby in there holding it all together.
Did not talk about Anna at all.
That's okay. That's okay.
Is it okay?
Is it, August? For you personally, is it okay?
I mean, I want to talk about Anna all the time, but that might be a gay thing, so...
Nothing wrong with that.
But for now, Elayna is going to recap today's episode, season finale. How are you feeling? Are you ready?
Oh, goodness. How do I follow an act like that?
With pomp and circumstance.
Yeah. Sure.
Okay. 3, 2, 1, go.
So Dean pulled a John Winchester and was really mean to Sam, and then Bobby was like, "What the fuck, bitch? You're way better than your dad. Go make nice." And Sam is like suffering this deep existential crisis because he's like, "Oh my god, maybe Dean was right the whole time." And Dean's like, "I'm just mad at my brother, but I love him so much." And also, him and Cass are having the most sexual tension of the entire fucking season, and I can't stand it. But then they realize that, oh crap, Lilith is like the final seal, and then Sam kills her, and oh no, Lucifer is coming to life and is awake. That was awful. I'm so sorry.
Well done. No. Well done.
You did great. You touched on the important parts with Bobby. You touched on the important parts with Cass and Dean staring.
Listen, my dissertation in college is going to be about this, even though I already went to college. I'm going to go back just to write a paper about Destiel. It's fine.
And that's okay. We're all encouraging you.
Thank you.
But before we get into that, let's pick some music to accompany us on our journey. What is your final addition to our season 4 mixtape, starting with Noah?
Now that feels like a lot of pressure. This is the final song we get to add to our season 4 mixtape, which will be on our website once we're done. Just go check it out, listen there. But today I'm gonna go with a song my sister showed me. HB, shout out.
Woo-hoo.
Clear Bones by Gene Dawson. It's a fun little ditty that really likes to sing happy things about sad stuff. And so it's talking about the devil on my shoulder. I've got living life with a price on my head. talking to the Reaper, asking if they'll watch out for you. Will they wait on you? Will they play hide and seek? Or are they just a guarantee in the end? And I don't know. It feels like where Sam is kind of coming at this episode from. He's going into this whole shebang ready to die if he believes that it'll help his brother survive.
Nice.
Elayna, how about you?
So my pick for this week is one that I stumbled into actually on a writing playlist, and the vibes were so much like this. It's the song Lead Me Home by Jamie N. Commons, and it's from the Walking Dead soundtrack.
Yeah, it is.
And it's got lyrics such as "Oh Lord, in the darkness, lead me on my way. Oh Lord, heaven's waiting, open up your door, lead me home." Just really good vibes that pertain to this episode. Like when I heard it, I was just like, this is Lucifer Rising in a song.
Nice.
Hurtful.
Well, my pick today is Bravado by Lorde. You know, lines like, it's a switch flipped, it's a pill tipped back, it's a moon eclipse, whoa. And I can tell that when the lights come on, I'll be ready for this. Sam in this episode, like this is somehow both Sam's girl boss moment and also Sam's downfall moment. And same with Ruby. It's Ruby's girl boss moment and Ruby's downfall moment. And this song is kind of...
Because even you have to admit, she's awesome.
No, I swear to God, she's not. She's very much not.
Noah's had it out for Ruby like the whole season.
I have
Noah
not
saw right
trusted
through
her.
her.
I will say, the last time Ruby was up and you guys were like, well, so what do you think about Ruby's motivations? I'm pretty sure I said I didn't trust her and she was hiding something, and
Yes.
she's sneaky.
Yes. You called it on Ruby's allegiances maybe not being so great way back when. But now, let's get into it. We've got our mixtape. It's time for this week's hunt. Today we are talking about Lucifer Rising. And as always, as we do with season finales, we're talking about it through the theme of free will.
I would say this is the best episode to talk about the theme of free will, because this is quite possibly I would say the second iteration of free will that we've gotten in Supernatural so far, because we saw that everything was written by Chuck, right? Everything was designed by Chuck, whoever Chuck is. And I think Anna was the first step, right, of free will and doing things outside of the storyline. But Cass taking his first steps into unwritten structures happens today, happens here and now. It was glorious.
Cass's rebellion,
He blasts Zachariah. Like, that's huge.
Yeah, he really said, fuck that bitch.
Well,
He was like, goodbye.
And like we saw in only a few episodes ago in 418 in Monster at the End of This Book, where, Cass says to Dean, they're standing outside by the vending machine, and Cass says, Dean, I'm going to give you this information, but just so you know, like, why I can't help you. And it's very much like, I'm going to give you this information, but I'm going to have some plausible deniability here. This time, there's no plausible deniability. Like, Cass is blasting away superior angels to align himself with Dean.
Yes. Decisively so.
And he says it and admits to it, because he's like, we will all be hunted, we'll all be killed if we do this. Like he's going full throttle.
That moment, he makes eye contact, and he at first he's not able to make eye contact at all. And Dean is like, no, come with me. Like, help me. You and me together, we got this. And then he looks up and he's like, okay, so this is the real facts. Like, I'm going to give you all the information, cards on the table. What can we do with that? And Dean suggests an option, and Cass tells him the exact real reasons why it wouldn't work. So they move on to the next step. Like, gorgeous.
And Dean like forces his eye contact too. Like Cass won't look at him, and Dean like does the little like head pull. Like
that's my favorite bit.
He pulls Cass in to go like look me in the eye.
It also helps that they're standing 6 inches apart.
Choices.
It doesn't hurt at all.
No.
Right. And then, we're going to get that scene, 2 minutes later of him slamming Dean against the wall.
Uh-huh. Very decisively.
And you know what I never noticed until this watch through, even though I've seen this episode like 800 gazillion times, I never noticed that Dean nods.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what?
Dean he's there for it.
They're having the whole conversation, I think, with their eyes about Cass is saying, like, we're gonna do this, but you have to not blow our cover immediately.
Yeah.
And Cass also is a little dramatic about it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
he's gay,
absolutely.
so of course he is.
Yeah. He saw an opportunity to pin his boyfriend to a wall and awaken something in him, and he took it. And I
think that was already awakened. I think that was awakened in Dean a while ago.
Yeah.
By sex and violence, if not before.
Yeah.
But we should go back to like earlier.
Yeah, sorry. We kind of jumped to the last 10 minutes. But right off the bat, the way that it starts with the focus on the brothers, being out of focus and then them slowly coming in. Gorgeous. Showing exactly where the viewers were at this point, just lost and hopeless. Like
that first, I was struck with like the conversation that Dean and Bobby have being this like mirror for the conversation that they have at the end of season 2, right after Sam is killed. Like they have that's the last time really distinct. Like they fought in season 3 as well, but it was a little different. Like they fought at the end of season 2 because Dean was like, I'm not leaving Sam's body, and also I'm not doing anything that's not getting Sam back. Whereas, and this time they're having kind of like the opposite conversation where like Dean's like, I'm done, I tried everything.
Heartbreaking situation that Dean finds himself in. He's given up on Sam at the start of this episode, and Bobby refuses to let him.
Yeah, Dad Bobby intensifies to the umpteenth degree in this episode, and I think it's one of Bobby's like finest moments. The way that he manages to like basically like shock Dean into reality while also still being a caring person.
Yes.
And being like, you're better than your father.
Oh my God.
Like,
and
okay.
It's so key to take this episode after like the conversation we had last week about how Dean and Bobby handle Sam's addiction to demon blood, because that episode's super hard to watch. And I think this is the like next conversation they really have is about Bobby's compassion.
Yeah. Knows no bounds. Absolutely. He loves those boys unconditionally, no matter what.
And yeah, kind of going back to what one of you said a second ago about he draws that he brings John up.
Yeah, he does that. It's gorgeous. He said, "You're not your father. He was a coward."
And he does that to be like, you are acting like you are what you're doing. Because Dean is just replicating like the Stanford fight where he's going like, I said to him, if he goes, then like we're done.
The way he says that
like,
to
so
Bobby,
we're done.
expecting Bobby to be proud of him for it. Like, no, Bobby's gonna yell at you about how you're doing the exact same thing John was doing. No.
And Bobby's like, fuck no. Like you know how that messed Sam up. You know how horrible that was. Like, you don't agree with that. You didn't like the fact that your dad did that to Sam.
Who could know better than Dean?
Like, Dean lived with the repercussions of that like basically shattered his own relationship with Sam. Like, he didn't see Sam for 2 to 4 years, depending on what timeline you're looking at and how you understand the time. Like, he didn't see Sam for like multiple years because of that fight.
The way we saw Bobby pull a gun on Sam last episode, and then he threatens to do it on Dean this episode, but the difference in situations is astounding.
Yeah. I think, we've talked so much about like both Dean, like mostly we've talked about Sam being really John coded, like at times in the way he handles things. And like, we've talked about how Dean sometimes thinks he needs to be like John, but isn't really. And like this being one of those moments where he doesn't do, even the fight they had last episode was not him repeating, like he was repeating what John had said for totally different reasons. Doesn't make it any better, but like I think that's why Bobby's able to get through to him, because Bobby's like, you are not your dad.
Bobby knows that the reasons Dean says what he said were different than what John had, and he just needs Dean to realize that. And I think that's what he kind of does through his conversation is he makes Dean come to the realization that he's not his father.
Yeah, and I think a lot of that comes from the way that Dean says, like, if he ever was. Like, he's like, if he ever was, like, I don't know if he's my brother anymore. If he ever was.
Not okay. First of all, sorry.
Yeah, that's the thing that makes Bobby be like, of all the things you could have said, like, that is, the two of you care about each other so much. And I think that's the moment that he realizes that like Dean's a little bit, like, not a little bit, a lot of bit broken from this.
Dean is betrayed, and that's why Dean is feeling this. Dean feels betrayed.
It's not actually out of the anger that Dean thinks he's presenting. It's out of a sadness.
When John says that to Sam, when John says, if you leave, don't ever come back, that is John trying to control Sam. When Dean says it, it's because he is feeling deeply betrayed by Sam's choices, and he is making a last-ditch effort to like not lose Sam. And like the way he goes about that is super fucked up. Like, don't ever say that to someone, like, especially someone like in the throes of addiction and everything that Sam is going through, and like demonic control, like all of this stuff that's going on. Like, obviously the strategy of Dean's is like terrible, but like I think Bobby gets it. Like, Bobby goes, he's your brother, he's drowning, like, you get over it. You like get over the fact that like he betrayed you. Like, we can deal with that later, but right now, like, we need to not give up on him.
And then the line, they're supposed to make you miserable, they're fan.
That one
gets me every time. Maybe an apple pie, maybe.
Throw in the apple pie in Dean's face.
Just hurtful. The line, "You're a better man than he ever was. Do me a favor, don't be him," was the best note to leave it on. I mean, Cass stole him out of the worst moment. Cass said, "Hey, I know you're having a great emotional talk with Bobby, but I need you over here." Terrible. But if you had to leave it on a note, that was a good one.
Yeah. And yeah, like you're saying, don't like Bobby going, "I see you." I think in a way that John never understood Dean. Like John was always trying to have both boys be like him. And Dean, in a lot of ways, in the early seasons, is trying to be his dad. But Bobby going, "No, you're not him. You are a better man than he ever was. And you have the opportunity to prove that by like not continuing to retaliating in anger. Like you don't leave Sam alone. And you also don't go after him ready to tear his throat out."
Yeah, not a good vibe.
And Bobby's going, "There's another option here." And that's that you like go and save him. But then we move into the room. And I want to hear Noah's thoughts on this because this is
Yes.
Okay, so it's a different realm, right? It's not Earth, obviously. I knew that as soon as Dean was transported there and he's talking about a door, how he's going to leave. Okay, whatever. No, you can't leave. This is like an astral plane type projection where you're separate. It's like, whatever. Okay, I do like that the angels made it, beers and burgers because they're making a trap for Dean. So, of course, give him what he wants, whatever he needs to sustain himself. He holds off until later. We'll get to that. I did like the room. The room was very fancy, very interesting. Seeing Zachariah again, always cool. I like seeing, the psych alumni. He's not as fun and quirky this episode. I'll give you that.
Not so much.
He's a lot more mean.
He's been upgraded.
A little bit. But the fact that it was the burgers from a seaside shack when Dean was 11 is a little bit creepy.
Yeah. Like, how did you time traveled for these burgers? Like, is that what I'm to believe?
That should have been clue number 1, that you were on an astral plane of some sort. If they've got burgers from when you were 11 and a specific character from a specific season of a TV show. Yeah. Okay.
And also, you're propositioning Dean with his TV show crosses. Like Cass is right there.
He's right
there behind you.
The disrespect, honestly.
Wait, there was a framing that happened right after that. So it's the moment when Zachariah is like, he comes at Dean and is basically like, you think this is funny when you started all this. And he walks past Dean. But the way that the shot is framed, you've got Cass in the background standing there like a good little soldier. You've got Dean looking away from him. And Zachariah says, but this, like he's talking about the final seal, but he just goes, "This seal, it'll be different." But the framing is just Cass and Dean.
Mm-hmm.
And it just,
ooh, this will be so different.
Good. Zachariah doesn't quite know how different it'll be, but
yeah, it's like, if anybody is watching it on Netflix, it's at like the 11-minute 43-second mark, and it is fantastic.
That whole scene just gets me. Like that scene, Zachariah saying, it's almost showtime. We want to keep you safe until then. This meta language going, like we are, like the walls are closing in, going, we're almost there. We're keeping you safe until then, which is code clearly for like, we're keeping you from interfering until then.
Yeah, we're keeping you where we want you.
Which it becomes more and more clear as the episode goes along that where they want him is away from Sam.
Yeah.
Because they're dangerous. Because that's the thing, is like the Winchesters together are dangerous. They've already proven that they will not follow the rules of the narrative. Like they've proven that they will try and break the narrative. So the angels are starting to get wind of the fact that like you need to separate them. And obviously in this very specific scenario, it's because they need Sam to break the seal by killing Lilith, and they need Dean to not stop him. And at this point, Dean will stop. Dean wants to stop him. Even before Dean knows that Lilith is the final seal, he wants to stop him.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I think is a nice moment, though, of Dean's? Where, once he realizes, like, or he says, like, Sam's gonna stop Lilith. I think it's really nice that after he makes his little apology, he goes immediately back to believing the best in Sam, being like, oh, well, you're not gonna let me stop it. Sam's definitely gonna stop it. Like, and that just to me was like, right in the heart.
That's some real sibling energy right there. As soon as you have decided that you guys are good, you're good. And it's fine. And it's fine. As soon as you've apologized, we're good. Back to normal.
Yeah, before he's even like talked to Sam. Like all he's done is left the voicemail, but he's taken Bobby's advice. He's gone, I'm fixing the stuff on my end that I have to fix.
Yeah.
The voicemail was so fucking sweet and so fucking cute.
It's really hard to watch your face during that, knowing what was coming.
Yeah.
And then immediately afterwards,
you had exactly the right reaction to that. And I was that
devastation.
it's not okay to hear Dean say all that nasty stuff to Sam after we just heard all the nice stuff he just said. Oh my God. Ruby's dumbass little smirk.
Yeah, that's the part.
That's the
every time
twist of the knife right there. But okay.
That's okay. So how do we interpret this? Because there's a few ways we can interpret the messing with the voicemail. And like, at one level, this is
evil.
Ruby. Yeah. Well,
yeah.
Cruel. And it's evil to do to us.
It's cruel and unusual.
No, wait, you already technically know this because I said it earlier, but you want me to tell you some really fun news you're gonna love?
Yes.
Yeah, they're never gonna address this properly.
I refuse to believe that. There's no way they can
Sam, we never know if Sam hears the real voicemail.
Yeah, never get to know.
Has that
Unresolved.
ever been asked at a con or anything?
Oh.
That's actually a really good question because I feel like it has, but I am not sure. So listeners, if they've ever asked about the voicemail at a con and you could find us a recording or a link or a quote, we would be super grateful. Tweet us at Queering Things Pod or come at us, message us on some other social media.
Yeah,
help Noah feel better about
that
this.
shit hurt.
But if not, Noah, I will vow to you that I will try my best to ask that question at the next con I go to.
I'm so proud of you. Thank you. You're doing the most.
Okay, but the point coming back to, I want to go back to. Oh no, you're good.
Can demons do that?
Well, okay, so there's multiple options here. Because again, we don't see who did this. I think like one option is that like Ruby does it. Another option is that other demons do it. Another option is that the angels do it.
Yeah.
And that's personally my favorite option, but I want to hear from both of you of like what you think. I think angel interference, like we know their level of like powers and like they can understand like sometimes they can read people's thoughts and stuff. So like
that's true.
I'm like
Zachariah does that to Dean in this episode.
He's like, yeah, you don't want to pummel me with that.
And he calls from the room.
He calls from the angel trap astral plane room. So surely they can monitor it. It's questionable whether or not it could have even got out because Cass says later on, you're out of your service range. Like you're out of your coverage. Like, okay, so why did I make the call earlier? What's the truth here? So I think angel interference might be a solid ass argument right there. They heard it going out and they stopped it before it ever made it there. So even when Sam was first going to look at it and Ruby made that little remark, like, are you a 12-year-old girl? Whatever. First of all, dumb. He could have listened to it right then and it would have been the evil one, I think. That would make the most sense to me because she was trying to get him to listen to it.
Yeah, Ruby doesn't have to know what it is.
Yeah.
It's too late. It's the angels. They've got in a lot of ways almost the biggest stake in this.
Yeah.
As is like also big reveal this episode.
I will say I think the angels did it. I don't think Ruby knew it was the angels doing it because if she knew the angels did it, why would she be fighting so hard to get Sam to kill Lilith if she thought the angels wanted that to happen? You know?
Well, I think maybe she thinks they can win. She thinks Lucifer can win.
The angels are talking about how they're going to win and it's perfect and it's fine, but it's like, you're taking that risk? You don't know? You're not confident?
Well, okay, so, and on that point, like, Dean says to Zachariah, he says, like, tell me something, like, where is God in all of this?
Uh-huh. And he says, God has left the building.
They are just playing with these toys. Like, I don't think the angels at this point give a fuck what happens.
They're just there because they're bored for the past 2,000 years.
And God's not listening. Dad's left.
So the parents are upstairs doing their own thing. They're not paying attention to the kids. So the kids are going to cause havoc downstairs and break everything. So the parents have to pay attention.
If you light the house on fire, maybe you get God's attention. Maybe you get Dad's attention.
Damn.
Just one of those casual planetary enemas to get your parents' attention.
But what was Cass's gut reaction? Where do they go? To Chuck? Interesting.
Yeah, quite a choice.
I did like Chuck's whole, you're not supposed to be here. This isn't, wait, hold up.
I didn't write this.
Free will.
Free will. Also, earlier, going back to the original conversation, Zachariah and Dean, where he's saying, have faith. And Dean goes like, what, in you?
In you? Mm.
And he's like, and then Zachariah like entirely changes his tack. He's like, actually, screw faith. I don't care. You obey because you said you would.
You promised us, motherfucker. And Cass refuses to make eye contact. He won't make eye contact with Dean because he knows the new plan now and he's not on board with it.
Yeah. He knows, again, we know like when Cass, whatever happened to Cass when the angels took him away.
Dragged his ass back to Bible camp.
Also, that conversion therapy sort of metaphor in dragging his ass back to Bible camp.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh, you right. I wonder if Dean had been brought to Bible camp as a kid. Maybe that's the experience he's pulling out of. So maybe he's had some questionable experiences as a queer teenager, Hey, John might have done some crazy ass shit.
Every time I've watched this episode, which has been a few times since I joined the podcast a year ago, I've been like, I have to mention this when I'm on the episode because it is so important to me. And it is the fact that Cass does not get on board with this until Dean says we're done. And he says it twice. And
looking away from him.
Walking away from him. He won't look at him. And it's Dean.
That's the final straw. That's what does it.
It's something, it breaks through, might we say, the conditioning.
Yes.
That Cass again, he takes up until his return to heaven. He had been like in conversations where there was like Uriel and Dean and Cass. It was always like Dean and Cass having a conversation and Cass always taking the forefront. Since Cass's like disappearance and return, he's taken a back seat to any other angel that's there.
Yeah.
Yep.
And this is the moment where that shifts again. Cass makes a choice again in this episode.
Yeah. And it's a choice that is so pivotal that you literally have God looking you in the face saying, I didn't write this. And then just one of the most classic lines of the entire series, we're making it up as we go.
Does Cass know Chuck is God?
That is not a question that we can answer, Noah.
Okay.
Because technically you don't know Chuck is God.
Yeah, that's true. But Cass knows.
Yeah, I'm sorry to just go jumping into spoilery territory.
No.
Like,
I told you that a few episodes ago. It's okay.
Noah already knew this. We're only confirmed because Noah knew it.
I know, but just
worst kept secret in the fandom.
It's not your fault. It's Chuck's fault. I can't think of a reason why Cass would go to Chuck besides him knowing that he's all powerful.
Well,
the writer.
I think it is important that like what we know in this point in the show is that Cass knows that Chuck is a prophet.
Yeah.
He did not show any recognition towards Chuck when he first met him.
Yeah.
Like no recognition. Like this is what we know. I'm just trying to lay out those facts. Like he knows that Chuck is a conduit of like God. Like that's what we've been told in the show at this point is like Chuck writes what he sees because God's showing him. And like we know he's actually God, but that's why Cass could go to him.
So Cass is thinking, hey, everything going on right now, all these prophecies, who would know that the most? This prophet we just talked to.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Fair.
That's going to be important later.
Fair.
Yeah, it just that to me though, I think is such a foundational, especially to the fact that we're talking about free will.
Yeah. Well, okay. So also, going along with like, this is a finale. We heard Carry On My Wayward Son.
Oh my God.
In this episode, Dean and Cass, when they're having the conversation before Cass makes this choice, he talks about, first off, Dean goes, what's real? People, families. And then Cass's rebuttal is to say, like, when this is all over, like, you'll be at peace. You'll be in paradise. All will be forgiven. You'll be with Sam. You'll have a happy ending in heaven or paradise or whatever. He's, you'll be at peace. And Dean, so the whole, there'll be peace when you are done from the song. And which we know is like foundational to the show, this kind of theme. And Dean's response is, you can take your peace and shove it up your lily white ass. Like Dean does not want peace if it comes at the expense of his free will. I think that's really important for Dean in this moment.
That's it. That's the show.
What do you want to say, Noah?
A secondary side note, also important with that line, Dean thinks about what color Cass's ass is.
I shouldn't have taken a drink.
Yeah, it's a bold choice. I'm sorry. I tried to talk slower, but it didn't work. I just think that's important, just to note.
It's definitely not important.
I mean, Dean, why are you thinking about
This is not
Cass's
the
ass?
moment for it, like, for sure. You should be thinking about it, but at a different time. Not when it's the apocalypse.
There's a season 5 episode that I just can't wait for you to get to, Noah, and we'll get to.
Is it 503, Elayna?
Yes and no. It wasn't the one I was thinking.
Because I'm thinking of 503.
I'm thinking of 518.
Okay, that also is fair. Fair argument. It'll be fun. We're gonna be there soon. No more crap about being a good soldier. Also,
Ugh.
he's targeted at Cass. He's going like, this is what's important. Again, like you said earlier, like he's trying to get through to Cass.
Yeah, this is simple, Cass.
Is it though?
Insane to say that to an angel. Be like, you know what? Actually, you're wrong. This is simple. And it means like we say screw the angels, actually.
Yeah, but that's exactly what he does. Dean is about to take a bite of the burgers they've laid for him. Which, okay, let me think about this for a second. I'm gonna say it in a little bit better way than if circumstances were to arise in which I found myself detained and being questioned by officials in any sort of way, never eat the food they provide. Ever. That's step number 1 of interrogation. Never take their food or their drinks. Water eventually, sure, but
also it seems like, maybe especially when they're angels.
Especially when they're all powerful.
You don't
angels.
know what, and when reality is being messed with, because like Dean whacks at the wall and then it's immediately fixed. Like this is not a normal place.
No.
You don't know what those burgers are gonna do.
No.
Yeah.
I'm proud of him for waiting so long to start to grab it, but as soon as he does, Cass is like, "Hey, it's time. This is the moment." Oh,
yeah.
Perfect. Okay, good.
It's like, I know you think burgers are the love of your life, but hold my beer.
It's me. Here, watch. Let me show you. Let me push you against the wall.
And shove my hand over your mouth and be like,
Let me do the classic
And
gay
give you
people
the-
move of almost stabbing you to show you my love.
I'm gonna pull out a knife while I pushed you against a wall. Isn't that hot?
let me like raise my eyebrows at you till you shut up and listen to me. I'm gonna take charge really convincingly in this moment.
The best part is it works.
Yeah. Seems like immediately like, okay, let's go.
Okay.
Yeah, this is like the most admissible piece of evidence, I think, in the case for Dean as a bottom. But it's,
First of all, Dean is a switch, and I will not accept any other answer besides that.
You know what?
Okay,
It's the facts. He knows when he likes to bottom, and he knows when he likes to top, and that's
I
all
actually
right.
think that's pretty good analysis. I think we see that. I think that if we track with like Cassie and Anna
And Bella
and Bella, like his dynamic with Bella,
and Cass.
his dynamic with Cass.
I'm sorry. What was the one hunter who was in one episode? Ricky and
Oh, yeah.
died.
Yep.
Richie.
Richie.
Yeah, Richie.
Ash, his dynamic with Ash.
And Joe. Yeah, I mean we're showing all sides. Bisexual switch king right here. Trans king.
Yeah, you know what? I got nothing else to say to that. That's good. That's good stuff. Oh, I want to point out, this is a bit of a change. I want to point out that I think Cass is trying to make a joke here. This is a big moment for Cass.
Nuh-uh.
When Dean is trying to phone and Cass is like, I think you're outside of your coverage zone. Like, I think this is Cass making a joke. I think he's really
He's trying so
to
hard.
speak Dean's language and be like, haha, you can't because you're outside of your coverage. It doesn't really work, but I think
It's
that's
not
what he's
funny, but
No.
it's a joke.
We've established he's not the funniest angel in the garrison.
No, that's your
No.
yeah.
Absolutely. Ask anyone.
Ask anyone.
They'll tell you.
Who am I gonna ask? Anna? Because she died last episode supposedly, and she's not here. So what's up with Anna? Sorry, just remembered we didn't see a single bit of her in this episode. Where's she
No.
at? When do we see her next?
Really good question.
Maybe at a time that exists.
Oh, you know what?
Or maybe not.
Not helpful. Not
Or
helpful.
maybe not. Maybe
Both
she's
of
dead.
you. I hate this.
Yeah.
Anna was taken last episode, and now she's gone, and
I
we
mean,
didn't get a
Cass was
single
also
answer.
taken several episodes ago, so
Yeah, but he's back. We saw him. He's good.
So
Anna's not.
just call Liam Neeson. He'll let you know where they were
Perfect.
taken.
Ooh, another visual thing that we have to point out. First off, I don't think this is a big spoiler. I'm not sure if it's ever canonically like established or if this is just sort of what the fandom has sort of coined. And if it is canonically established, it's not really a spoiler to say. This room is called the Beautiful Room. That's kind of
Okay.
what it's known as. So that's just the easier way to refer to it. But like in
So
one of the
They
first
come back
scenes
to this room later on.
Maybe.
Aha.
where we talk about it in the fandom from this episode that you have
That's
seen.
Also possible. Okay.
Listen, we named our ghost Tiny, and he's only in one episode ever.
We name
so,
a lot of things. We name
So
a lot
true.
of shit. We talk about in the fandom about one moment, we'll create entire lore around 30 seconds of show. So
That's so fair. Okay.
So you don't know.
Beautiful room.
Beautiful room.
The beautiful room.
One of the first scenes in it is Dean tipping over. I don't know if you caught the Dean tipping over the angel statue.
Breaking it
Just
and
knocking it
Cass
over.
appearing and saying, I heard you called for me.
Mm-hmm. Something helping angels fall from grace.
Just Dean.
Okay.
It's such a good visual metaphor though, because he's just like, he swats it like he's a fucking cat.
Yes.
Like he's just like, oops, I broke it.
He does it because he can't figure out anything else to do in this room. So why not break something?
And he refuses to like do nothing. And he also refuses to like do what the normal person would do or what like they want him to do. Like what they want him to do is they want him to sit quietly, eat the burgers, drink the beer, and
he
wait.
just wants
and
to
he's
break
like,
shit.
no, I'm gonna break shit until you like let me out of this fucking room.
So you give me the answers I'm looking for.
Dean Winchester,
Works.
I'm here to break shit.
Dean Winchester, sort of a cat.
Bean just looked over at me, by the way, when you said that.
Yes!
Even though
I love Bean. I try to be friends with every cat I see, and it's just like
Some cats.
scratch.
I think Dean's that kind of cat. Sometimes,
Yeah.
If you're nice, he'll eventually warm up to you. But like,
It's the most
He's not a-
frustrating thing because he'll smack, and then purr, smack.
oh yeah,
And that's Dean right there.
yeah.
Smack, purr.
I mean, that's pretty much his relationship with Cass, right? Like he's like, oh, and then all of a sudden he's like,
his relationship with Cass is smack, purr, purr. Think about that one for just a moment.
I want to hear your thoughts on first. So like when Zachariah is talking and they're saying, okay, like when they're revealing the plan, they're going, actually, just jokes on you. Actually, we do want the apocalypse to happen, but you still have a part to play, Dean. You are still chosen.
Yeah. As soon as they were like, yeah, you're still going to end it, I was like, okay, so they want the apocalypse to happen. They want Lucifer to show up so he can get killed by Dean. That's okay. If Lucifer is already trapped, why not just leave him there? Like, it feels
They
so
want the
extra.
showdown. They want the showdown.
They want the drama. They want the fight. They want the big glory in their name without God on their side, I guess. Like, they want to prove that they can do it without him. That's
Ooh.
unnecessary.
Ooh, what a theory.
Ooh. So then are you saying that like the angels are choosing Dean? Like who's doing the choosing? Who's like
Choosing Dean to
like if Dean is chosen, who's doing the choosing? Is it the angels? Is it God? Is it someone else?
Well, okay, a part of me wants to say God chose him because he knew that he would choose his own path and he wouldn't help the angels in the end. I think anyone who knew the angels' true plan would have known that Dean wasn't going to go along with it, willingly at least, but even not willingly, he won't go with it. Yeah, I think God chose Dean.
Nice.
The angels definitely didn't because they think they did, but I don't think they did.
Ooh. Okay.
No, I love your galaxy brain theories.
This
Thank you.
is some good, interesting stuff because obviously this.
But then why
storyline-
was Chuck so surprised when they showed up?
So many
Wait, never mind.
questions.
Sorry, Chuck doesn't remember that he's okay. Never mind. It makes sense. I'm
What
good.
did you just say there? Like
Chuck
what
doesn't
do you-
remember that he's God, right? Doesn't
What are
he?
you?
we're not going to
Okay,
confirm or deny
sorry.
any of your theories. What do you think?
I think God chose Dean because Dean would choose not to help the angels. And then it confused me for a second because when Dean and Cass went to Chuck, Chuck was like, whoa, this wasn't written. I didn't write this. So that threw me off for a second. But if Chuck thinks that he's just a prophet,
Ooh,
then
is that
would
your
still
current
track.
standing theory? Is that Chuck doesn't know he's God?
If not, he's a really good actor.
Guess we'll have to wait and see.
12 years later.
Son of a bitch. Do they not? No.
We're not going to tell you when they
Yeah,
reveal
I'm
it.
just
I'm not
messing
going
with
to
you.
ask y'all any questions anymore because it's just not helpful. But if we're talking about this episode, we can't not talk about the last scene, the final confrontation with Lilith.
Oh,
Sam having her dead to rights, having all the juice, all the demon blood pumping through his veins, and then hearing Dean's voice, just a hint of it on the other side of a locked door. And that's enough for him to pull back and to stop completely.
and it's the fact that he looks back on Sammy
Oh my God.
specifically.
That hurts.
And Ruby tries to use that too. Like Ruby also tries to call him Sammy.
She tries.
Yeah.
But it does not work in anywhere near the same level.
No.
And Sam's already questioning that. Like
Yeah.
Sam's been questioning like ever since everything with the nurse. Like that's when Sam's humanity comes
Which
back.
pour one out for Cindy McClellan.
That nurse did not deserve that. terrific move by the demon. If she wanted to get mercy from Sam, that's the way to do it. Revert back to the victim. Like, damn.
Almost derailed the whole thing.
Apocalypse.
Like
All
Sam
of it.
was getting really close to being like, actually, maybe this is not the path. Maybe I need, and it's the voicemail, which
It's the
again
voicemail. It's
lends
the
credence to the
voicemail.
whole, it's the angels theory, because like the angels are like, oh shit, maybe he's gonna like get a conscience right now,
Right
and
at
he's
the
gonna
last
back
second.
off. And they're like, shit, we better
Threw that
fuck up his.
voicemail in there as the cherry on top to send Sam down his dark path.
Because they know if you isolate Sam, you make him
Mhm.
feel like he doesn't have any options, you make him feel like everyone else thinks he's a freak,
Make him think his brother thinks he's a freak. That's it.
and he'll be like, sure, fuck it. I'll be a freak. I'll be the monster.
God, it hurt.
Yeah. Sam, this is Sam's darkest.
The heart pounding was so good. It
Oh,
was
and I gotta know how you felt, Noah, about his eyes.
okay. His eyes going full black. Not all right. Not okay. It hurt a little bit. It was really cool to see because, like, oh, damn, cool. But no, not Sammy. Ugh.
And to like have that happen, because we have seen that happen once before when he was possessed by Meg, but this is like
This is
he's
all
not
Sam.
possessed by anybody.
Sam
This
is
just
not-
him.
Sam is not a demon,
No.
but yet he's got demonic powers.
First instance we've seen of a non-demon having all black eyes, right?
Ooh,
Yep.
And,
nice
not,
bit of
and not a
lore
host
note.
as well. Not a
Mhm.
host,
Yeah.
but not possessed, not anything, just all black. I am very glad that Dean didn't have to see that. That would have hurt him a bit more if he had seen the all black eyes.
Well, because he like from Dean's perspective, like Sam has had the voicemail, whereas from Dean's perspective, he called Sam, left a like appeal voicemail,
Heartfelt.
and then he shows up. So like he doesn't know what Sam
Oh no.
heard. He doesn't
That
know what Sam heard.
but see that makes it hurt even more. I never realized that. But so Dean, if he goes in there assuming that Sam heard the voicemail and did it anyway,
Well, but see, he
Oh.
saw Ruby turn around and shut the door, right?
yeah.
He saw that, and he saw that Sam didn't see him. He knows Sam didn't know he was there until he's pounding on the door.
Yeah.
But he still like doesn't know if Sam listened to the voicemail
Yeah.
hours. Like we know that's like at least a couple of hours early. We don't know how long exactly, but like at least probably a couple of hours earlier.
The note that does help a little bit at that last scene is after Sam kills Lilith, after she's done and the door finally opens and Dean storms in ready with the knife, and Ruby is all gloating and trying to be like, "You're too late,
Ruby's villain
motherfucker."
speech is so fucking good.
She does great,
Yeah.
and she's preaching to someone who could not care less because he just realized that his brother is right and every warning he gave him was completely right, and he's not listening. He does not care about what Ruby's saying. Sam is
No.
like, "Oh my god, I
Well-
hurt Dean for nothing."
And he's realizing he's
Ugh.
been played. He's realizing Ruby was never trying to stop Lilith.
Never.
Ruby was
But she was
always
never
trying
trying
to
to
raise
save
Lucifer.
him.
Never trying to help Sam in the slightest. She's
And
using him.
and potentially never trying to help Dean, like Dean
No.
back in season 3 when she
No.
has shown up. She's been on the scene for 2 seasons,
Mm-hmm.
claiming she could save Dean from hell. Couldn't save Dean from hell. Claiming she can help him kill Lilith. She can, but she had this like huge ulterior motive, and like
But that's exactly what she wanted the whole time. Ah,
Ruby's good. Like she's good.
She
She's
is good.
And Sam is like all in 1 second realizes that like he has trusted this person who has literally put him in a position where he is responsible for raising Lucifer.
Now, here's an interesting question. I would have never thought I would ask this question, but prior to that moment and the reveal that, like, Ruby has been playing him this whole time, do y'all think there was ever actually a point where Sam loved Ruby?
I think they actually both loved each other. I think that she still, even though she's been playing him, I think she legitimately, like, I think that's what that speech is. Like, I think when she gives the speech and she's like, he's like, we can have it all. Like, I think she's imagining that, like, if Sam can just get with the program, they can, like, be this badass, like,
Demonic power couple.
Like, I think Ruby is like, we've been preparing for this your whole life, Sam. Like, we've been getting you ready to do this. You get with the program, and like, guess what? We get to be like happily ever after in like Lucifer's kingdom.
hellscape.
Yeah, like I think she's genuine about that. I think she plays him, but I think she's genuine about the relationship.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's my opinion, though. I don't know. I would love to hear both
I
yours.
would agree with that take. Yeah.
I think, yeah, she's so far gone that she thinks that Sam, once he realizes that they won, quote unquote, that he'll just completely flip over to her side and he won't have any qualms about it. But that's such a biased perspective of Sam, is assuming
Yeah.
that if he's on top, he wins. No, because he goes with what he feels is right, not
Yeah.
if he's
Yeah.
winning,
She's misunderstood the fundamental depth of Sam's character.
which is just another stab in the back to Sam, thinking that this person knew him and knew what he stood for as a person. Nope.
No,
She was
she thought
using
he
you.
was the freak and the monster.
Yep.
She thought that's what he should be. is
She
the freak and the
wanted the freak and the monster.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Mhm.
The one thing
Oh.
about that last scene, though, that really establishes Sam as back on Dean's side and realizing that he messed up, nonverbal, completely nonverbal. But when Dean is coming up to Ruby and he's like, she's, oh, you're too late, mother. You can't do anything. He's like, I don't care. Like, you're done. Like, you're out. Lilith, okay, whatever. Move on. You can't affect Sam anymore. But Sam is still in shock from the reveal with Ruby and all that, but he doesn't hesitate. He jumps up and grabs Ruby so Dean can stab her, right?
Mhm.
He's showing
Yeah.
that he's holding her down, making sure she's defenseless against Dean, because they've been going back and forth on this for the past 2 seasons about whether or not Ruby's on their side, Ruby's not,
Mhm.
and Sam is fully on Dean's side. Yeah, you're right. Get her. Like, there's not much time to say anything else because Lucifer's coming, but there's enough for him to show that he's sorry a little bit.
And how heartbreaking is that sorry?
God.
Like
His
so much
eyes-
regret because he can't do anything about it. Like it's too late.
Yeah.
It's too
and
little, too late. But
It's enough for Dean.
well, and the like reality is like Sam, you know, they were both in and like talking about free will in this episode. Like they were both told in this episode by Dean by the angels and like Dean by Zachariah and Cass and Sam by Ruby. They were both told like you have been chosen for a specific cause. Like they've both been told like actually your free will doesn't really matter. What we've planned for you is what matters. And like they
Mhm.
both have like they're both experiencing like an outside force trying to control them and take away their free will and
Mhm.
say actually you're a cog in like you're maybe you're the king in this scenario, maybe you're the queen, or maybe you're the queen in this scenario, but like you're not the one moving this. Like they
Mhm.
think, you know, you might be a queen on a chessboard, but like someone's playing that chessboard ultimately.
Hmm.
Like
And
I think
who is that?
The end of the game, you might get sacrificed for the victory, and it is what it is.
yeah.
That's a great way to put it.
It's a heavy-hitting
And-
episode.
And Lucifer,
He's coming.
the cage is open. Cage is open.
I also love that this is like
Throw Adam in it.
What did you just say?
there are things you're not supposed to know now. As we wrap up main discussion, I think it is worth noting. I think one of the cool touches to this episode is that, you know, Supernatural always ends with, you know, black screen and the text.
Okay,
I
yeah.
love that this one fades to white
That's
and has
such
the
a
black
good touch. Oh my god.
Because it's just like, oh, fuck.
Like,
And I just have always loved that about this
It's
episode.
such a good, it makes you uneasy. Like it makes
Yeah.
you feel like everything's changed. Like just the base fundamentals of this show that we've been watching for the past 4 seasons have changed. And that's
mhm.
terrifying.
Like
Yeah.
this is the apocalypse.
Like,
Uh,
what are you gonna do?
We were hunting ghosts 3 seasons ago. We were hunting women in white and
La
like
Llorona was right around the corner, but here we are trying to stop the apocalypse. No. The apocalypse has happened.
yeah, it's
Here
too
we
late.
are.
The train has left. Like now we are going to be
Train has left the station.
like the Lucifer is out. So what happens now?
God, I can't wait.
I think that's where we'll end our
That's a-
like episode discussion unless either of you have anything else to add.
No, I think
Got some
that was
touches from lore, but
Cool. Well, that's where we're going. So, going meta, we are tracking lore, representation, behind the scenes, all this fun stuff. Starting with our rep check.
Chuck.
I hate the priest and how he talks to the nuns
Oh God,
very intensely.
Azazel, right?
Yeah. Oh yes.
We've seen him be sleazy
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
to everyone.
they really came back and were like, "Hey, Azazel's back. Let's make him be a little dick shit to everybody." Love it.
Yeah. It's kind of cool to see another like link to the history of,
Yeah.
you know, this has been a plan set in motion for a long ass time. Like that's before Sam's born, like 1972. That's actually, yeah, that's the year.
Dean's not even born yet.
Dean's not even born.
But overall, those nuns don't deserve to be treated like that.
Yeah.
They're just nice and doing their own thing.
There's
in
a
this little
terrible,
convent.
the gross.
2 virgins and 70 sluts and unnecessary addition.
Mm-hmm.
Gross and uncalled for.
Yeah, and obviously, like, the women in this episode this episode is very focused around the male characters.
Yeah.
And you know, even a character like the nurse, like,
Yep. We know she dies.
Ruby is great. I'll give like a point for representation in terms of like Ruby has been a really well fleshed out character.
Mm-hmm.
Sad to see her
motivations.
go, even, you know, as much as like, you know, it's sad to see her go, like as one of our strongest and one of our only strong female characters right now at this point. Like we have lost, like we haven't seen Joe and Ellen in forever.
Bella.
Or like Ellen and Joe are still out there. We just haven't seen them in forever. Bella's dead. Like Anna's who knows where. Like we're running low on like female characters. And so like it's sad that we get Ruby, like we lose Ruby this episode.
It really does hurt. Genevieve did great. And you know, she found her happy ending afterwards, but
I do. It is very endlessly funny to me, the story arc of Sam and Ruby.
Yeah.
And the fact that they're, you know, married
Jared
with 3 children now.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. That's crazy.
They started with some like hot demon sex.
There was another dickless joke about
dickless heathens.
Can't give it a rest, can we?
There was Ruby having a line to Sam about it's not the time to grow a persqueeter.
Hate that line so much.
Unnecessary.
It's the worst word.
Just uncomfortable.
Like writing choices. Like it's just icky.
They really dated themselves making a A-Rod and Madonna reference.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
Okay, wow. So you're gonna make a comment on this really kind of intense, fucked up situation that happened in your life.
Doesn't age well.
Doesn't age well.
God. And also I would be interested, like, for younger or newer viewers, like that reference
they don't even
it's not even going to like connect. Did
you have to Google it? What did that turn up? Like, did you feel good about what you found? No.
Like you didn't want to Google it, but you didn't know it. You wouldn't, like, I feel like not everyone would know it just by hearing it.
No, especially
it just
not
makes
today.
It not a great reference. Doesn't add anything. Like there are some funny references in this.
Yeah, if we want to talk about funny references, The Sweet Life of Zach and Cass.
So good.
They killed it right there.
Such a good. It's also funny for another casting reason later on. There's going to be
I mean, that's not really a spoiler, is it?
The Sprouses show up?
I won't say who it is. I won't say who it is. But
Mr. Mosby.
I'm not going to say who it is. There is a character in Supernatural. We're going to meet them in season 5. And is from Sweet Life of Zach and Cody. And that's you're gonna know it as soon as you see it.
So the fact that they made a Sweet Life reference the season before,
it's just
somebody
fun.
shows up.
It's fun.
That's gorgeous. I love that. They also had a Death Star reference. Ruby had a Death Star reference. I loved it. It was so good.
Such a good Star Wars reference. Like,
I mean, if you wanted to communicate, hey, you need more juice before you do this big ass shit. Yeah, it's the final run on the Death Star. Of course, he gets it.
It's just clever.
And of course, we get the holodeck reference from Dean.
Yeah, Dean references the holodeck. Oh my God.
Which is Star Trek.
Star Trek. Yeah. We got Star Trek. We got Star Wars. We got
all the stars.
We have the beautiful room, like, which is kind of colloquially in the fandom what it's known as. Also, like the green room, I think is maybe also another term for it within the show. And that's also like a 2001 Space Odyssey reference. So that's another interesting thing there.
Jupiter and the Infinite Beyond.
Yeah. Yes. We got Star Wars, Star Trek. We gotta
Gilligan's Island, obviously. We talked about that
classics.
one. Yeah. The Washington Generals.
Yeah. Muhammad Ali reference is a good one as well. Like when Zachariah is talking. I find it so interesting, Zachariah versus Cass, like, because Zachariah makes a lot of pop culture references.
He says, Marsha, Marsha, Marsha.
I love that Cass canonically struggles with like references and like doesn't get pop culture. Like that's a thing that's going to kind of evolve. Even like Cass trying to make a joke this episode that kind of falls flat, like is Cass is trying, whereas Zachariah is like throwing out references left, right, and center.
Yeah.
I feel like we talked about this before about how when angels or demons take possession of a body, they gain or they have access to the memories of that person. So that's how they get some of the pop culture references. So is this supposed to tell us that Jimmy doesn't do pop culture at all?
I mean,
got
Okay.
zero taste.
We know Jimmy is a Christian businessman
So yeah, okay.
who, what does he sell? Bail bonds?
Or like radio ad time.
Oh, radio ad time. Thank you. Radio ad time. So like, yeah, maybe. And I also think it's
And-
interesting because I think angels can like learn, and just we have Cass canonically struggling with that element of humanity more than other angels do.
Which might explain why he's so interested in them. Damn.
Yeah.
God, strong episode for references.
Oh yeah, Russell Crowe. He also says
Oh yeah,
Oh,
from
Zachariah
Gladiator.
also-
surly attitude.
Zachariah also, yeah, compares Dean to Russell Crowe.
Are you not entertained? He should have said that at some point. That would have been great.
There's also like a Dumbo reference and a Stepford Wives references.
There's so many references in this episode. It's insane.
And I'm honestly like, I mean, mostly Ruby and Zachariah, honestly, which is
Yeah.
fun, like comparatively, like
A
the two
demon
plot
and an
lines that
angel.
are going on.
Hmm.
Okay, so yeah, I think that's probably about it for representation and also kind of pop culture. Let's move into lore.
So get this.
I was looking into the lore. Oh boy, we got some lore.
Final seal, right? All the 65
Yep.
seals are broken. We're on the final one. Obviously, the big reveal that the last seal was a lie this whole time, and they have to kill Lilith to make the final seal. Okay, cool.
One of the more like subtle pieces of lore, but that I think is really interesting, creepy, and well done is when Azazel like opens the door and like Lucifer talks through the nun.
Mhm.
I feel like that's one of the creepiest moments in Supernatural. It just
Yeah.
freaks me out
Lucifer
every
being able
time.
to talk from the cage.
And like doing
Through a
so
dead body.
through a dead body that is upside down on an altar.
Also a religious figure.
Looks sacrificed. Oh, yeah.
It's the whole like twisting of like something that is God's
Something
be
quote unquote holy is now
Mhm.
perverted and evil. Yeah.
very like the Lucifer MO that we sort of understand, like,
Yeah.
and would kind of expect, honestly. Like, I think that's like pretty
Yeah.
common understanding of Lucifer in pop culture, in religious lore.
Yeah.
Like that he's the one twisting things that are holy.
Yeah.
And that's obviously how they're setting him up.
I liked at the beginning, he was talking, the priest, Azazel, was talking about how they felt a tinge from an angel and they built a church here. And then he said, right idea, wrong angel. Because like, he does that whole speech about how Lucifer used to be an angel. I feel like we talked about that not that long ago,
Yeah.
but it's
He's like, I'm gonna build me a nun factory.
yeah, that was unnecessary, but hey, it worked.
It was, and it shouldn't make me giggle.
It's
and
a little,
yet,
it's like derogatory,
yeah,
but he's not saying anything sexual. I don't. It's
It's
a
just
weird.
it's
it's-
one of those lines that I giggle every time, and then I'm like, am I a bad person for this? Maybe.
I don't know that one
I
is
don't. I
necessarily.
don't think you're a
it's-
bad person. It's just it's a bad person making the joke, but it's still a joke.
Yeah.
That- I don't know. The stakes aren't real for us here outside, so it's a little bit easier.
The stakes aren't.
Yeah. One other kind of lore thing that I just want to get and ask Noah kind of what you're thinking about this is Apocalypse. What's going to happen? What do you like based on what we've seen now and what we get in this episode? What do you think is coming? This is kind of going into predictions a little bit, but
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a hell of a ride next season because the amount of predictions and stuff that comes to pass once Lucifer is raised from the cage is a pretty significant amount of destruction and decimation and just pure chaos and carnage across everywhere. So it's not going to be pretty. The brothers are going to have to fight a lot. If Dean is destined to kill Lucifer, according to the angels, I mean, I feel like that plan would have to be enacted pretty soon. Otherwise, it's like you're taking such a risk. But I mean, the angels already know that so many people are going to die and they're fine with that. They just want the glory of the battle. So
Yeah.
I think it's going to be pretty fucking gory. Oh,
what
I think Ellen and Joe are going to die this season
Oh no.
because of the apocalypse.
that's
And
horrible.
Why
They're
would
the-
you come to that realization right at
they're
this
the
moment?
only people we care about that aren't Bobby.
That's
and
so-
Sure, everyone
that's
else is
so
already
cool.
dead.
that's the only people that they can like have impact on the Winchesters. Maybe Rufus too. Fuck, because somebody has to die for the stakes to get real for the Winchesters in this season. Otherwise, it's like, okay, we lost Ruby, but she hated us anyway. We lost Bella, but that was because she didn't tell us she needed help. You can't lose Bobby because he's an angel. So I think it's got to be on that fucking. It's gonna be a very intense and very sad season. I don't want it to happen, but
Well,
stakes have to get real.
Lucifer's out.
Lucifer is out and he's here, and It's going to be interesting to see what he does with his number one, executed to bring him back. So who's his second in command now?
Well, and Ruby's gone too.
Yeah.
Like, she was in on the plan.
The number one and her number one is back out, both of them. So Alistair?
There's a vacuum.
But Alistair's
also dead.
Oh shit, yeah, he's dead.
Alistair, Azazel, like a lot of the big wigs are dead.
Have we established what happens to demons when they die?
No, we have not.
No.
Okay, so maybe they're not quite all dead. They go somewhere to be brought back at a later time when the writers deem it necessary.
You've understood this. It's the supernatural way.
Okay.
Like,
welcome.
I've read comics a long time. Nobody's ever really truly dead. Yeah.
Not if you need him for plot reasons.
Exactly. Heavy episode.
I think that's about it for lore. So it's our last blessings of the season.
No
Who do you
pressure.
want to bless this week?
I'm going to bless Bobby. 0% of surprise right there, because Bobby deserves all the blessings and all the love, because he, again, is just trying to do his best to make sure these brothers love each other and are safe and happy. And that's all he wants.
If the angels don't interfere with the voicemail, Bobby maybe averts the apocalypse with that little speech
Straight
to
up.
Dean.
He does.
If the angels hadn't fucked with it, it would have been fine. And Bobby would have saved the day, as always.
Always saving their butts.
And he deserves a lot of love for that. So shout out Bobby.
Dad
MVP of
the
season
year.
4. No, actually,
Really?
I can't say that. This isn't the award ceremony. Shout out to Bobby. He's my favorite. I love
Come
him.
back next week to see what awards Bobby wins in the postseason award show.
I just realized that we get to do that now. And I'm so very
Yeah.
excited. My
Next week,
favorite
folks,
episode.
Next week, folks, season awards.
gonna be great.
Elayna, blessing.
So I was actually gonna bless Bobby.
Of course you
but-
were.
But no, beat me to it. So I'm gonna go with my default, and just because he terribly needs it right now, I'm gonna bless Dean. Sweet baby, the emotional journey he gets sent on this episode is a lot, and it's just gonna be a rough go for him in season 5. Methinks.
In a contrast to the previous 4 seasons that
Yeah,
have been just peachy
But like,
for Dean Winchester.
but you pointed out, like we went from, oh no, there's like a little werewolf and a ghosty, to, oh dear God, we just unleashed the devil upon the planet because the angels made me do it. And I just think that's a lot to carry on his brooding and pensive shoulders. Blessings to Dean.
I'm gonna bless Cass
Yes.
because this is his moment. He makes a choice. He jumps into freedom. He's all in. Like, this is real rebellion against the angels. That's not a small thing.
Could not have been more serious. The way that I'll hold them all off. God.
Yeah.
Go save Sam.
Yeah. He's like, I am throwing my lot in with the Winchesters, with Dean Winchester specifically. I'm in. I will follow this one. And that's
Like Cass literally lived for millennia and then got to this one and was like, I picked that one.
Knew him from less than a year. Like millennia, and then the last second of your life, you meet this guy and you throw it all away.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's Cass this season. Like, we've come a long way from Lazarus Rising all the way to Lucifer Rising, and I want to bless Cass for that journey he's been on. Big moment for him in an episode where he's only in a handful of scenes, but it's big scenes for him. Yeah. Thank you both for your wonderful blessings and all your thoughts this episode. That's where we're gonna end today.
It's a solid ass episode.
Yeah.
Season 4, y'all, we made it.
This has been a joy sharing this trauma with you.
Honestly, there's nobody else I'd rather be on this trauma ride with.
Yeah. All
Aww.
aboard the trauma train.
Aww.
It's not as touching as I hoped it would be.
Yeah.
Trauma rarely is. But honestly, if you are listening to us, thank you for being here this season. We are super grateful for all of you.
Seriously.
Yeah, all of the countries that have listened this year, all of the places in the world, and thanks for coming along for the ride. We are excited to go into the next season with you. Excited to hear your thoughts on season 4. So definitely hit us up on social media this week and let us know how you felt about this season. What are you excited for season 5?
How would you have stopped the apocalypse? Let us know.
Yeah. I'd like to hear your pitches for
Good food for thought.
Yeah. No spoilers though.
Yeah. Do not spoil season 5 for Noah.
Because we will find you.
We have a
But to
very
make sure-
particular set of skills.
If you are not already, you can subscribe to Saving People Queering Things wherever you listen to podcasts.
You can find links to our social media and join our Discord server through our website, queeringthingspodcast.com. Also, make sure to enter into our giveaway. We're accepting entries on Twitter. We're also accepting entries on Discord. We're going to pick a winner from each one. Winner on Discord, winner on Twitter. You can enter both sections. We'll only pick one winner from each side. So if you win both, whoops, good luck. You did great, but we're just going to take one. We're accepting international entries this season, so feel free to jump on in there if you're from Latvia, but also anywhere else. We've got a little sticker pack designed by us, printed out by Elayna. We're going to ship it out at the end of this season. We're going to pick the winner.
So get your entries in to be entered into that giveaway.
I'm so very excited. This giveaway is going to be great. Make sure you enter. We'll pick them all. It'll be great.
The stickers are going to be super fun. And if you are all caught up on Supernatural and you want to get back to before the beginning, you can listen to August, occasionally myself and our friends Beth and KJ over at Wayward Parents, where our updates are at Wayward Parents on Twitter, and on Tumblr, we're at Wayward Parents Pod. Be sure to ride along with us next week as we give out awards and recap season 4.
Thank you all so very much for coming along for the ride. And as always, we wish you a peaceful road until we meet again.
Just like that.
We did
Season 4
it!
is done.